Hello, everyone. Oh, wow. It's very loud. Um, how are you guys today? Good? Yes, you're like, yes, yes, before lunch, we're very hungry. Get it over with. Okay. Well, welcome to the world of Bootstrap. My name is Shay Friedman. I am a founder of a company named Code Value, where I do mainly consultancy, training, writing code, whatever that comes in my way, especially about web development. I am a Microsoft MVP for C#, if it tells you something. And I've written a book about a programming language named Iron Ruby. How many of you have heard about Iron Ruby? None. One. Did you just... Yeah? There is a single person here. That's good. Well, the language actually diseased. It passed away last year. Even the website won't come up anymore, but you can still buy the book in Amazon. So if you ever want to run a prank or something like that on your friends, it can even make your screen higher for you. So go and buy that. Anyway, yes, this is me. Now, you guys, how many of you here are web developers? Okay, most of you, that makes sense. How many of you have used Bootstrap before? Good. Okay, so I hope everyone will learn something from today. What we're going to talk about is Bootstrap and what there is in Bootstrap and how we're going to use Bootstrap and why. So let's start from the beginning. What is Bootstrap? So first of all, it was named Twitter Bootstrap, but it was changed a few months ago, I think, to just Bootstrap. Why, I don't know. But the entire project started a few years ago by two guys inside Twitter, and they actually wanted to create some framework for their internal websites in Twitter. But then they saw they had something good. So they said, okay, we will extract that, create a framework, and open source it. And that's what happened. So Twitter Bootstrap is around for about 3 years now, I think. And it's gaining popularity all the time. More and more people find out what it is, and they figure out it's a good thing to have and a good knowledge to acquire. So I see a lot of gaining of popularity and need for Bootstrap all the time. So this is what, and now good, so it's gaining popularity, but why would you want to use Bootstrap, right? So Bootstrap is a framework, right? It's a CSS framework. It's a framework for design. Now, how many of you have done CSS? How many of you like the process? Exactly. So CSS actually is one of the best programming languages ever created. Now, you're probably thinking, why? And think about it. It's about the only programming language out there that actually does what it meant to be doing. Think about it. You just write something, and it changes how the page looks. Incredible. And that's it, right? But all of you probably know by now that when you create sites or apps or whatever that are bigger than a single page, you have the CSS to maintain. And maintaining CSS is, I don't want to curse on the stage, so it's not the prettiest thing ever. So that's a problem with CSS. And another thing with CSS is that we repeat ourselves over and over again. How many of you here have created something, some class, CSS class or whatever, that aligns a text to the center. Yeah, do that, yeah. How many of you done something like that, that puts a div or whatever to float left or something like that? Yeah, everyone, yes, that's me. Yeah, so we don't want to do that. We want something to have that already did that, and we will just use it. So Bootstrap gives all these very basic features to us, as well as much more than that. And this is why I don't want to repeat myself every single time that I create a new website, or even the same website. I'm sure you guys, and I have done that as well, repeated ourselves with this float left or text align center on the same project, the same class, with different classes that do exactly the same. And that's CSS. This is what we have to live with. But we are web developers. We like it hard, right? So this is Bootstrap. This is why we want to use Bootstrap. And now let's move forward and see what it actually contains. So the first part of Bootstrap is CSS. Now, CSS actually has two subparts in my presentation. And the first one is the grid system. Now, if you look at that, you see a table, right? This is a table. Now, it's a smart table. This is what I like to call it. How many of you have heard about table hell? Okay, look it up at Wikipedia. Table hell, it's actually something. Because what happened when we created layouts that use tables, we ended up with a table, and then a table, and then a table, and another table, and then we had a button that needed curve borders, so another table, and inside maybe another table just for the fun of it. So this is what's called table hell, because then you look at the HTML, you're like, no. Oh, thank you. I didn't invent table hell, by the way, but I was a part of it back in the 90s. Now, this actually looks like a table, but it's not. It's all divs, and the idea of the grid systems in Bootstrap is that you actually create something that looks like that, but it's for layout, right? So what's going on with layouts is that layouts need to change. Today, everything is about responsive design, right? We need a single website to work on my phone and my tablet and my small laptop and my large TV. They all need to work on a single layout. Now, Bootstrap has this notion of different sizes, and we can actually create layouts with these grid systems for 4 different sizes, and that's all. We have 4 sizes. There are static sizes. You can go to the website and look the exact sizes, there are 4 of them. One is for big wide screens, which are, I think, 1200 pixels and up. The second one is medium size screens, something 9 something pixels to 1200. Tablets and phones. So tablets are considered small, and phones are extra small. And you see here that this says column MD medium 1. So the grid system actually divides the entire width of the screen to 12 boxes, and then you can start working with that. So you have here just 12 boxes. You can say column D8 to have 2/3 of the screen, and then 1/3, and 6 and 6 to have half and half. But this is just for medium size. I can now start playing with that And let me show you this. So you see this is about the same. I have call MD1 and MD4, and down here I have, well, you don't see it. Okay. So, whoa, that's big. Okay, I hope you see it now. So call XS, extra small, 12, call MD8. And you can actually see how it's taking place right now, because call XS 12 says, okay, this box right here will take the entire width of the screen when the width of the screen is lower than, I think, 7 something pixels, 700 and something pixels. And this one will take half the screen. However, if the screen is bigger than the medium size, or the medium size, this will be one row, and this will take 8 boxes, and then this will take 4. So if I do that to one time, okay, so this is what happens. They're now on the same row. So you see how this grid system is really nice. It's kind of easy to work with, because this is all you need to do, just separate them into boxes. And you could see before that you see the column D1, because the size now is very small, they just go on top of each other. So this is how you create the responsiveness of your design with Bootstrap, just with the grid system. So this is very nice. The cool thing about grid system is that just like table hell, you have a new hell now. It's called div hell, because you can have nested grid systems. So you have a div inside a div. But we're moving forward. Table is like 4 characters, 5 characters. Div is 3 characters. We're moving forward. So yeah, this is the grid system. Now, the second thing is what's called prettify, or I call it actually prettify, which just makes your site pretty. So let's take a site. This is the site we're going to work on today. This is my the site for my amazing product. It has a description here, and what people say about it, a code sample, download, and who's behind that. This is me and my sister's dog, Joy. Now, I don't know why, but people go into that and they don't download the nothing, because like they say, it says what people say. So this is one of the best products ever created. This is what my dad said, and everyone should have this. This is what my mom said. No one, and nothing at all. So I think we need to improve that. So this is what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just include the Bootstrap CSS in it. So this is the code, and it's pretty big. Can you guys at the back see that? If there's one that doesn't see that, please raise your hand. Good. Okay. So what I'm going to do, this is the CSS of Bootstrap. I just included that. Okay. So you know it before I just duplicate that. Okay. Save. I now save it and refresh. Boom. Much better. You see, this is what it was before. This is now. This is just the basic CSS that Twitter Bootstrap includes. Changes the font a bit. It has this different idea for a block quote. So it has this little line here. The code sample looks a bit better. Table still not better, but we will take care of all of this. So you see, just by including the CSS, we move forward. Now let's fix the comparison table. Actually, before that, one thing I don't like about it, and one thing that you will probably want to do, is that it's too wide, right? Most of the sites today, they have these margins. Do you know why they have these margins? Because it's easier to maintain. When you have the margins, and I will just do that because Twitter has this. So it's something called container. You just put a CSS class on a div that wraps everything, it says container. And now when I refresh, you see that it has these tiny margins. But if I will do that, so wait, so you see the margin changes, and at some point it just becomes very, very small. So the idea of these margins is that you have like an infinite amount of screens, and every screen has a different different width. So you don't want to have a design. It's really, really hard to create a design that works on all of these screens, right? So what you would do, you would create different widths. In Bootstrap, there are 4 of them, and then design just for them. So you design for, I don't know, 1,000 and something pixels, and 900 pixels, and then 500 pixels, and then you have something that need to adjust for smaller screens, because you get these weird Nokia phones with 320 pixels. So yeah, they exist. They still exist. Haven't seen your phones here in Italy, though, but I hope you don't use that. Sorry. Anyway, so we have this container now, and now let's take care of the table. Okay, let's make the table better. Okay, so the basics of Bootstrap, as you can see, it's all about classes. So what I'm going to do, just class equals table, and table striped, and table hover, which are all just, they add more. So now we got this. It looks much better. It even has this nice thing that you go over it. So this just comes with Bootstrap. Of course, you can overwrite everything that is in there, but this just comes built in. And if you don't like the stripes, in the US they love it. Change it to red and blue. But here you might like bordered. So you see, I don't like it that much, so I prefer the stripes. But if you like this, it also available out of the box. Okay, so this is cool. Now let's take care of this. Now, in order to make this pretty, I want it to be like your name here, and the input here, email input, and submit. So to do that, let's go to the download. Okay, so let me copy these so I don't make mistakes. So the first thing, you have a div that wraps everything, and you say form horizontal. That's the name. There are also other variations of form. Now you take form group, and you see there is a div with the label and input, a div with the label and input, and this would be what's called a form group. So we'll just add a class and put form group there. Okay, so we have that, and I forgot to put it here as well. So we have form groups, right? Now let's take care of the label and the input. And now I'm going to use the nested grid system. So this will be a few boxes wide, and this will be a few boxes wide, and this is how I put it one next to each other. So let's take that. Yes. So on the label, I will again put a class, and you see that on these classes, some of them are pretty obvious. Control label, this is the name, it's pretty obvious. And then I say, this is the column for small and up. It will take 2 places. And the other input will also take 2 places. It doesn't have to be 12 boxes wide all the time. It can be just 2 and 2. It will be just fine. So let's take and put it here as well, and here as well. Okay. Now the input, let's do it like that, will be better, is form control. So class equals form control. It seems like might be looking like a lot of stuff, but it's pretty easy. Form group, control label, form control. That's about everything. Let's refresh. Much better now, right? What's not better? Submit, right? Not good. So let's change that as well. Now I want the submit button to be right here. Okay, don't want to be here, don't want to be here. Now what I could do, because now I need to put it 2 boxes to the right. Now what I need to do for that, first thing, I can just add a div and say class call sm2 and put nothing in it, right? But I don't like just writing HTML without purpose, so that's not good. What I'm going to do this. There is this thing called offset. So let's add that. Call sm offset2 says, okay, push the box 2 boxes from the right. And call sm10 or 2, it doesn't matter. So this will actually start where I want it to start. And the button itself will have a class, btn primary. And btn primary is just the color that the button gets, and now the button looks much better. Now this is another thing that Bootstrap gives you, is a set of colors that just come built in, and there's so nice colors. It's actually the UX experts from Bootstrap, from Twitter, came up with these. So it's not just something that some developer came up with, because as developers we don't know how to design. I'm the first to admit it, I have no idea. And this blue is so nice, it's never mind. And it has this hover effect. Anyway, so we're done with the download, right? Cool. Let's take care of these images here. They're too square, so let's make them circle. So we're going here, these are the images, and class image circle. Okay, so this will just make the images with nice circles much better. Okay, so we have this. This actually looks much better now, but we can of course improve it better. So this is the prettify part. Moving on to components. Up until now you saw the framework that has only CSS. Now these are all components that are only CSS based, no JavaScript involved yet. But what I like about them, most of the time you need these in your applications, like navbars, the navigation bars, breadcrumbs, paginations, labels, all of these you actually need. So just learn them. Bootstrap has one of the best documentations ever, really. I really mean it. So just go and look through all the components. They even have a component named Jumbotron. It sounds like a transformer or something like that. It's ever since I saw that, I put a Jumbotron in my application. No matter what, I put a Jumbotron. I want a Jumbotron in my application. So we will use it in just a second. So let's just start working with that. So the first thing I want to do, I want to add a navigation bar to the top there. So I will just copy, because it's kind of a lot of writing, and I put it just at the top. And if you look about it on that, it's not that it's just a lot of writing, but not a lot of complexity. So you have the nav here. This is an HTML5 element. It can be div as well. And the class is navbar, navbar default, navbar inverse. These actually give the navbar their colors. Then you have the header, sorry, which says my awesome product. And then these are the links. Okay, so it's just a UL and LI. So list items with links, and that's it. Now when I save it, it looks like that. So great, looks much more professional. People will download my product right now. So this is good. So this is the navbar. The next thing I want to do, I want people to react to the site. They will see it, and then they're like, I don't know, I read everything, but I don't feel it. So I need this this thing here to put up there. So they see me and they say, oh, this is an ugly person. But then they see the dog and they're like, oh, I will go download it right now. So I want to put it up there. So I'm going to use something that's called a panel. A panel is just what it sounds like. Let's put it right here. It looks like a small part of the page, which is a bit different from the rest. So you have, again, it's very simple, just a div with panel default, heading with the header. So let's put the header here. Who's behind this awesome project? Now let's take the images from here. I'll remove this, and okay, so now you see panel body. Just put the images there, and let's refresh. So you see now it has this border, and it has the header, and it has the pictures. So people will see, okay, I want to download that. So now let's improve the download form, because the download form is nice, but it's pretty dull, pretty empty. So a cool thing that Bootstrap has, it's what's called the glyph icons. Now this is their site. I just want to show you the the components, the glyph icons. If the Wi-Fi will work, okay, good. So you see these icons, you get them for free. They actually usually cost money, but if you work with Bootstrap, you get it for free. So you have all these images, all these icons, which are actually coming from a font. And so you can change their color, which is really nice. And they actually have almost everything that you will always need. So it's really nice. So I want to add that to my form. So yes, let's copy these. So what I can do in my form, let's go back to the form. Okay, so I can say that every input is actually an input group. This group consists of the input and some kind of an icon. So I say, okay, this is the grid system thing and input group. And now let's add the icon. So again, I'm going to just copy that. So what I'm doing now is just put in a span that says input group add-on. I will just show you what it looks like. And then inside this, I have another span. So now we have a span hail as well. Span that says glyph icon, and the glyph icon is -user. Okay, so if now I go back here, refresh, so you see it has a little user, and this is the add-on. It looks like the same input, so it's really nice. I'm going to do the same for the email, but now without an actual icon, just with the @ sign. So where is my input? Okay. So now I have this input group add-on with just the @ sign here. Okay. So div class input group. Cool. So now I have this thing here. So it's much better. Last thing I want to do is on the submit button, I want people to get there and say, oh, we must must download now. So I want to add the heart here, right? So let's take that. Yeah, this is not this is not the actual button. Okay, so let's put the button ourselves. Okay, so button. So the class will be btn and btn primary like it's now. But inside the button, I will have, again, a span with a class of glyph icon and glyph icon dash heart. That's good. And download. Okay, and we don't need that anymore. And now, of course, people will download. Look how it looks like. That's good. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. So, this is components. Of course, there are much more. Look through them. Again, the website is really, really good. Moving on to the final part, which is JavaScript components. And JavaScript components is the first time in this presentation that we actually need JavaScript. And Bootstrap come with the JavaScript file. Now, if you don't use any of these, you don't need to include the JavaScript file, because the rest of this, except from this, everything works just with plain CSS. But when we get here, we need JavaScript. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use the model dialog here to pop out the download form. So the first thing I need to do, go back here, and there is this script tag. I remove it, and this, again, this is the first time that the Bootstrap JavaScript is being used here. And I'm gonna just copy all of that because it's, again, a lot to write. And again, it looks like a lot, but not that much. You can see that there's this div, model, fade. This is how you control the animation of the model dialog. You have fade, you have others as well. So this is how you control the animation. The ID here, download dialog, remember that, we will see that in just a second. Then we have this model dialog, content, header. Here's the header, here is the body, and right underneath somewhere is the footer. So it's not that, it looks like a lot, but it's actually just header, body, footer, and that's it. So now we have that. How do we open the download dialog, right? So of course, for that, you probably think I forgot about that, but no, I'm going to use a Jumbotron. I told you. So I'm going to use this Jumbotron, and I'm going to put it just up there, so people will not be able to ignore that. So just to make it clear, Jumbotron is also something that it's called a hero zone. I'm not kidding. There is something called a hero zone or a hero unit, and you see it in a lot of places right now. You get into a website, and there is this huge thing written with huge fonts and huge buttons, just to get your attention. And this is what's called the pitch, the elevator pitch line. So you see it, and you say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to download it right now. This is what needs to get your attention." I like Jumbotron much more than Hero Zone. Hero Zone is too American, you know. I'm a hero. No, I'm a transformer. It's much better. Anyway, so now we have this button here. It's a regular button, but I don't need any JavaScript to open this model dialog. Why? I have this data toggle. This is something from Bootstrap, and it says model. Okay, so this says to Bootstrap, open this model dialog. Now, which model dialog? Data target is don't download dialog. This is the ID. Okay, remember the ID from before? It's the same thing. So I don't need any JavaScript written here by me. So this is good if you have someone, we have in our company, HTML specialists, that's how we call them. They're not very good at JavaScript or anything. They're good at with HTML and CSS. And they're using this, and they give all the basic behavior to the application using Bootstrap and all of this, because they don't need to write JavaScript. So this is very, very nice. So now, when we open that, we go here, we have a Jumbotron. I didn't write anything, but you see this is big. If I had something written in it, it will be very, very big. And I have a download, so you pretty much like you go in and, okay, this is what it's doing. Download. Okay, so this is how it looks like. It opens up, and you can close it. And of course, if you are a UX designer, you would say, okay, put the call to action everywhere. So this is my tip to you, just put it everywhere. So we have the Jumbotron. So just under this, we'll put the Jumbotron again. And here again, and again. So everywhere that you go in the site, you like, okay, no, I don't want to download now. No, not now. No, no. Oh, this, the amazing product does everything, and the other products not. Okay, download. Good. So, just look at the site now. Look how it looks like. Pretty nice. If we do this, sorry, and go like this, it still looks pretty cool, pretty actually good. And I didn't really need to do a lot to get here. This is where we came from, okay? You wouldn't download the product here, but let me tell you, you would when you get here. Thank you. Okay, so before I do that, we have like, let's say, a minute and a half for questions. So, yes. Okay, so the question is whether there are any drawbacks using Bootstrap. There might be. Like any framework, this one is not perfect, so you need to follow the rules of the framework. Like the grid, I don't know if you noticed, because I kind of silenced that, but there is this scroll bar here. And you say, well, I'm using the grid. Why there is a scroll bar here? Because Bootstrap says, okay, you don't do this on a full width of the application. You have the container. You need to put the grid inside the container. Otherwise, you get this. Nah. So this is something that you should be aware of. So there are a few things that, of course, you need to be aware of, but I think that there are much more advantages than disadvantages in using this framework or others like it. Which is, there's one more like it, by the way, called Foundation, Zerb Foundation. If you go and look at the different sites, like the Foundation and the Bootstrap sites, they look exactly the same with different colors. So choose whatever you want. Let's do one more question. Yes. Does the navigation have multi-level? You can use the JavaScript navigation component, and then you have like this nice pop-up that you can do the multi-level navigation. Okay, so I will just summarize, and then if you have any more questions, just come to me. So, Bootstrap. We saw Bootstrap. Why? I told you why. I showed you why. Because you will download my application now, and all I needed to do is to use Bootstrap. This is enough, I think. But in general, it's just something that will prevent you from repeating yourself. It has done all the work for you for a lot of things that you repeatedly do all the time, right? And really, just go through the documentation, and you will see that there is a lot of stuff in there that you just need. You just need every time, and then like, well, why not, right? So we saw the CSS, we saw the components, we saw JavaScript components, and this is all there is. There's much more extensions to that as well, but this is the basics, and it actually gives you all the basics that you need, and for every application that you're probably doing. This is where you go and get Bootstrap. It even says get Bootstrap. So all the documentation is there, everything is there. This is the website. And that's it. I hope you had a joyful time. Thank you very much.